My name is Barbara Schreiner, and I am the Executive Director of the Water Integrity Network, which is an NGO based in Berlin, but working globally, trying to improve integrity and reduce corruption in the water and sanitation sectors. Although we're based in Berlin, we're doing a lot of work in the Global South. We work particularly in 3 countries, Kenya, Bangladesh, and Mexico, where we work with civil society and with government around integrity practices. I really think that the major challenges that we've been experiencing recently have been because of the COVID pandemic, which has made meeting and engaging and holding workshops, etc., very, very difficult. But there are different challenges in the different countries. Bangladesh, I think, is a particularly challenging country to work in because despite a lot of work that the government have done around it, corruption is still fairly endemic, and so there are a lot of challenges about working there. But we have excellent partners on the ground in the 3 countries that we work with. So we have a number of projects ranging from the international level through to the local level in country. I'll perhaps highlight one particular project that is very close to my heart that we're working on at the moment, which is we're doing research in Bangladesh around the issue of sextortion in access to water and sanitation, which is really around trying to understand, we're doing research at the moment, trying to understand to what extent the practice of women having to pay for water and sanitation with their bodies, with sex, is actually prevalent, and then to work out what can be done about it. It's building on work that a partner of ours did in Kenya recently, looking at sextortion in informal settlements in Kenya, and it's an incredibly important and very under-recognized area of work. Solidarity for me, and I'm a long-term activist, and solidarity for me is about, particularly at the international level, people in the same sphere actually working together and showing solidarity for other people's work. I think it's very important over the years, the solidarity that has been shown between North and South. And I think in real solidarity, it is important that the South still takes the leadership, but that the North, who come with a lot more resources in many ways, can show the solidarity behind that leadership from the South. In the work that we do, which is around improving integrity in the water and sanitation sector, we work on 4 principles or 4 legs of what constitutes, what helps to drive integrity: transparency, accountability, participation, and direct anti-corruption work. And so participation is a fundamental element of what we do. We are firmly convinced that the fight against corruption can only be taken forward if there is actually participation of a whole range of people, including civil society and including the affected communities, and that participation is a critical element of good governance and of meeting the Sustainable Development Goals ultimately, and the human rights to water and sanitation. My wish is that somebody would give us a lot more money so that we could expand the project much wider. As I was saying, and I'm talking about the sextortion project in particular, it's an area that is very under-recognized. It is not recognized as a form of corruption in the legislation anywhere, I don't think. It's not recognized in anti-corruption policy as a form of corruption. It's also not recognized in the gender-based violence side of things as a form of gender-based violence. So it falls right between the cracks, and for me, it's just shattering that in order to meet the water needs of your family, you are forced into sex or some kind of sex-related activity. And so what I would really like is to be able to upscale that project, work with people in other sectors that are dealing with this issue, to actually start much more of a global discourse around it and get changes in policy and legislation and actually then in action around this. For me, there is a major challenge in the world at the moment that the space for civil society is closing, and that it's increasingly difficult for civil society to operate effectively in many countries. And I think that what needs to change is that space for civil society, and I'm afraid the only way that's going to change is for civil society to keep pushing and keep fighting and making the necessary coalitions, alignments, solidarity to actually push for greater space for civil society to operate.